Hello everybody, thanks so much for checking out another uncensored tactical video. Today is going to be on tactical lockpicking and the 3 worst tools that I've used in my experience. So, you might recognize me also over at the Insurgency Knitting Circle Discord channel. Long story short, we've got a big merger coming up, and check my website for more details. So, without further ado, number 1, my first most least favorite lockpicking tool. Looks super cool, super expensive, heavy to carry around, sounds sweet. Pick gun. Yeah, everyone loves guns, right? Okay, pick gun. Here's some problems with that one. You'll see it comes with a bunch of different tension wrenches. That's because you need an absolutely perfect tension wrench fit and the perfect amount of tension. So it's not for beginners. Even if you can get it to work, you still have to be really feathery and really light, and you have to know how much tension for each specific lock. And some locks it'll fucking pop right open, and other locks you're never going to get it. Some other reasons I don't like it. You can't carry it in your pocket, and you probably shouldn't carry it in your pocket for everyday carry. You also might notice that you can't see it with the lighting, but it's black on black. There are some replacement heads in here. I am really familiar with them breaking on me or breaking with other people's pick guns. They even provide you with some in here. I love Sparrows. I think they are a fantastic company, fantastic customer service. A lot of their products are very high-end, but I wouldn't recommend you keep this specific tool in your kit. Doesn't matter who makes it. Not a big fan of it. You don't get a lot of bang for your buck. And if I can use a snap gun or pick gun to open up a lock, there's also a really good chance that I can use these little guys or any variation of a standard rake and a standard tension wrench. So, not a lot of bang for your buck. What else did I miss? It takes a lot of time to get it to work. Sometimes you have to snap, 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 snap. Okay, no, let me try a different tension wrench. Snap, snap. Am I spinning the right way? Okay, snap, snap, snap. So it's not, sometimes it could be immediate, but it takes quite a bit of just monotonous, just clicking, snapping, clicking, snapping. It's kind of a pain in the ass. What else? Okay, that's it for this little number. Number 2, really similar. The science of what happens inside the lock is the same kinetic activity with bump keys. Same thing with snap guns and bump keys. You're going to hit the bottom pins, and the energy, just like when you have a pool ball and a pool ball, and a cue ball comes in and hits the first one stays put, the second one moves. So you have your snap gun underneath or your bump key underneath. It hits the bottom pins. The top pins go up, the bottom pins stay, this gap opens up, and that's where the shear line is. Science is the same for both of these. For these also, you have to have the perfect fit in your keyway. This is a set of 5 with an expandable 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another set of 5 for expandable bump keys. Some companies online will sell like 10 or 15 or 20 piece sets. Obviously, I'm a big fan of everyday carry. Can't carry these in your pocket. I do keep them in my go bag. I keep both these items in my go bag, but they are like a last resort. If you have someone with you that knows how to use a bump key, in theory, you can kind of throw these to them, and you can try doing your raking or picking. But like I said, with a pick gun, if I can use a bump key to get a lock open, there's also a good chance I can use a basic rake and a basic tension wrench to open that same lock. So not a lot of bang for your buck. What else? You have to also carry a hammer with you. You can't just have just the bump keys. It's also loud and annoying, and you got to keep rapping and keep rapping. It's also really common where you also have to get the perfect amount of tension when you twist these keys. And depending on the shape of the key and depending on your angle, it's really common for you to smack yourself in the thumb or the forefinger. So that sucks. What else am I missing? It's based on trial and error for your fit, unless you are very advanced and you've memorized the brands and the types of keyways, and you know it on instinct. You have to just try a key, try another key. One might kind of fit, but one might kind of fit better. You don't get a lot of bang for your buck with these, and in some states they are outright illegal. Whether you have intent or not to commit a burglary, they're just considered evidence of a crime just by possession. So I do not recommend these almost ever for anyone in their everyday carry. As a backup entry tool, as long as it's legal, I wouldn't say don't buy them. Just know that you're not getting a lot of bang for your buck. I would spend more time practicing your basic picking and raking. All right, that's number 2. Number 3, combs. So these are some examples of some combs, and you can see they look like little mini hair combs. This one's from Sparrows, and right off the bat I'm going to show you the worst problem with these. This little guy is forever stuck in this lock. This happened at one of my last classes. Because of the shapes of these comb teeth, they're vertical, and the pins are vertical inside the lock, and because of the spacing, some of the pins have ended up wedging themselves into these little comb spots, and it's not coming out of this lock. I can't take it apart partially. I have to completely destroy the lock or the tool to get it out. That's the worst problem with them. Some other problems: it must fit perfectly, just like some of these other tools. For your rakes and your tension wrenches, usually there's some wiggle room for some low to medium security locks, but these things have to fit perfect. The keyway can't be cut too exaggerated. The keyway's got to be really loose and really fitting for your comb to go in. What else? The pin separation inside the lock has to be perfect. So let me show you an example of what I mean by that. So these are both 5-pin combs. And if you look, they're not the same distance apart. Let me try and rezoom for you here. There we go. So they're both 5-pin lifter combs, but they're different separations apart. And often you cannot tell that from a real lock in the field just by trial and error or by looking at the lock. You can't figure that out. You also have to know exactly how many pins are in the lock, and you have to have the right number of pin lifters on your comb. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 up here, and 5 and 5. We also have some 6s here. Sparrows has a pretty cool, pretty inexpensive set called the Comb 45. I do like it. Let me zoom in here for you. I do like it, but like I said, you have to either know exactly which lock you're going to use it on by practicing at home and memorizing and writing down what works and what doesn't, spending a lot of time practicing. If you have the space, go ahead and put it in your everyday carry. Sure, there's 2 of these in a set. You can see my other one is forever lodged. But let's talk about even in the best of circumstances. So let me get a good 5-pin lifter here. So this is a Sparrows training lock. I really like training locks, but they have their limitations. So let's say we have a 5-pin lifter. Let me try and rezoom and get you guys as much detail as I can. So you can cheat on this because you're practicing. It's a practice lock. It's see-through. If I line this middle pin up with the comb and the lock, you can see that the first pin stack, kind of by the bottom of my handle here, the first pin stack, it's on the inside edge of that pin stack. The middle one's perfect, and that top one is on the inside edge of that top one. So even with a pretty close fit, it's not great. So also the keyway has to fit. We already talked about that. There is a problem that these might get stuck. They're very hard to get in. You don't want to ruin a lock that's in use. You also don't want to ruin your tools. You know what? I'm not even going to shove that in there. It's not really worth it. I tried it before the shoot, and it was a little sticky, and I could not get it to open. All these tools have their place. They're interesting. If you got the time to burn and the money to burn and you want to practice and have fun and expand your skill set, definitely go for it. I'm not telling you not to, but for tactical lockpicking, if I'm going to teach you and train you and give you advice, and I'm going to tell you where to spend most of your resources, whether it's time or money or training or tools or space on your belt, as far as resources go, I wouldn't recommend a pick gun or bump keys or combs as part of your everyday carry. So that's it. Special mention for kind of a fourth one would be these things like these pop-out lockpick cards. The tools themselves are fine. They kind of have, sometimes they'll have a little bit of residue on the punch-out area. And they'll get you into locks probably just as good as some of these other lockpicks. They're not very different. But the problem is, once you punch them out of your card, that's it. They're out of the card. So your storage is no longer a pretty slim credit card case. So for my everyday carry, I have a sleeve, like I've had tons of articles on it, tons of Instagram posts on it. You probably know it by now. It's this size, and it's got separate dividers. It's the Bogota Pi Entry Set, or the Bogota Pi Entry Set, available over at searpick.com. Like I said, once you punch these out, you can't put them back in. And if you're going to carry one of these, you should definitely be trying your tools at home before you employ them in the field. So as soon as you get this, if you're going to practice with it, which you should, you already lose the ability to carry these in the correct manner. So you kind of have to buy two, one to practice with, one to take in the field with, which already kind of defeats the purpose. So it's kind of just a nominal mention. Thanks so much for checking out our content. If you want to get a hold of us 24/7 and be part of a really cool growing community, go ahead and get over to the Discord app. And our specific server is Insurgency Knitting Circle. If you want to go to uncensoredtactical.com and check out more of our articles, you can also hit our contact page, and the link to our Discord server is in there. Thanks so much for checking us out. Hope to see you on the next one.